Evening. My name is Cisneros, and I want to start off by thanking the First United Methodist Church, the First Presbyterian Church, the Names Foundation, Names Project Foundation, and any other organization I might have left out. I've been asked here by Stanford Cares to speak about my story, my experience. And as I was writing my remarks, I couldn't help but going back to what we've been through. I keep wanting to talk about what I've been through, but I can't help but think about what we've been through. I'm not sure if we appreciate that so much. If we give ourselves enough space to actually process all this devastation. 40 million have died. I couldn't get past that number. With numbers those huge, how could you? 40 million. 15 million in sub-Saharan Africa alone. 33 million remain infected worldwide, and 25 million of that sub-Saharan Africa again. We've been through a lot. We continue to go through a lot. And many of us don't process that. I have been through a lot. 4 years I've been infected. First year, I broke up with my boyfriend in a really tragic way, moved back home into homelessness. I had a warrant out because I was a bad boy when I was younger. I was arrested, incarcerated, released, raped, hospitalized. 2 months after that, my mother passed away. That's just 3 years. 3 years of living with the virus. So I've been through a lot. And my story isn't really that different from many of the people who live with this virus. My story really isn't that different from the people in sub-Saharan Africa who aren't going to make it to the 31st year of the Red Ribbon. I think it's important to notice that, to recognize it too. I don't know which is more surprising. The fact that we're still dying, or that we don't have a cure. I keep going back and forth. And I don't know which one makes me angrier. The anger is so strong that occasionally, even subconsciously, I'll slip. I won't take a pill one day. I won't take my pill 1 week. I won't be hard on myself, but I wonder, so many people fought so hard for me to get that pill. And I think about that. In the face of so much ongoing devastation, it's not crazy to imagine that at some point we thought this carnage would end. We probably thought to ourselves, we'd have a cure by 2018. Surely we'd have a cure. And maybe then I would probably just be able to sit down in a corner and really process what I've been through, what we've been through. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet, and it's no surprise we still continue to suffer. We haven't given ourselves those moments to process. And that's what I wanted to use this occasion to do. To give us a moment to help each other heal. People who have HIV, like me, do not suffer alone. I also want to take this moment to appreciate the community, the HIV negative community. You stood by us. You've shown us love, when many didn't. You held our hand when we found out, when we got sick, but you never saw us as sick. You saw us get rejected, be discriminated against, and you remained by our side. Many of us, I can tell you for me, I could not have done it alone. And I want to thank you. I honor your compassion. In a world that may lack it sometimes. We've been through a lot. We continue to go through a lot. But we're here. We're still here. Many like us didn't make it. And I think that sometimes we feel a sense of duty, obligation, even survival skill. Why me? I think it's natural to ask yourself those questions. We may not all reach the same conclusion and answer, but I think it's natural to ask yourself those questions. So as we process this together, how do we want to move forward? Whether we realize it or not, we're entering a new era in this epidemic, a new stage, with all these new tools, these advancements. What does an AIDS-free generation look like? How can we envision that? Does it look the same to me as it does to you? Do you want it as bad as I do? Are we okay with what we have now? What do we have? We have more than a few groundbreaking results, which to some people amount to a functional cure. Results like treatment as prevention, more awareness and access to pre-exposure prophylaxis, easier to use and access medication assistance programs, frequent and rapid HIV testing, lower rates of mother-to-child transmission rates, and a vast network of tireless case managers that will move oceans to save lives. Are these tools enough? Do we require more? How can they help us reach an AIDS-free generation? I was fortunate enough to find a job providing HIV tests after I found out. After I got what was left of my life together, I provided tests, I raised awareness about prophylactics and free rapid HIV testing through social media. I was able to be of service to my community, to my HIV positive community, and also to keep healthy my HIV negative community as well. That's how I coped. That's how I got by. We've been through a lot. I have been through a lot. And my suffering isn't any different than yours. Valid, but not all that different. This has been one of the most destructive pandemics in human history, but we are still here. Why? You'll have to answer that for yourself. But for me, one of the great HIV activists, Peter Staley, once said, "Light at the end of the tunnel is when not one more person is infected and when not one more person dies of AIDS." That's why I'm here. I pledge from my heart to rededicate myself to forge a future in which no one person here in Stanford, in the town in which I grew up, or in Connecticut, or the world for that matter, anywhere, to know the pain, the stigma, and trauma of HIV/AIDS. We are still here and we get to decide what the future looks like. The new frontier of this epidemic is defined by us. So I ask you again, why are we here? Thank you.